Before I go into my arguments, I will start with my rebuttals. When the first speaker of the proposition said that the facility don't give any confidence, this is false because when we look at the schools where facility is more developed, we see that the students are more incentivized to study and become more free in the research and development of their knowledge. Students and teachers are more encouraged to work harder, to search for materials and improve. When the first speaker of proposition said that the facilities are already advanced in those areas, this is also false because the reality is that the facilities in areas with low academic achievements lack resources to even learn about the competition, and we cannot rely on the government of the area to build the area without the incentive from the government, the central government. Now, the first speaker also said that the only way to train the trainers are to change curriculum. This is also false, given how the facilities can connect people far, far away. So for example, Ocean Champion from Java can train the teachers from Papua, for example. Last rebuttal, when the first speaker said that there is a mismatch between the rooted system and the national system, this is true. But it is made irrelevant because with the growth of facilities, we can see that the with the growth of facilities, we can see that the updates are implemented online and the textbooks are more updated online. So we need that in our society. Now, for a country to change its curriculum and sacrificing the chance to build up the educational facilities is an unwise thing to do and will bring harm. When we talk about changing of curriculum to accommodate areas with low academic achievements and we say that this will be creating a more inline and fixed form of national competition, this is false. Why? Because when we change the curriculum, this will just be a hassle because all areas need to conform to this new curriculum. And meanwhile, the curriculum we have now, we only need to focus on academically low areas only. Panels, if you want a world where the persistently low academic areas prosper, please give the win to the opposition side of the house. What are the characteristics of low academic achievement areas? First, lack of education material of competitions, and second, lack of infrastructure to accommodate training. In this status quo, we can see that the areas are persistently low on academic achievement, don't have enough or the right resources to support their competing teams. They either lack the resources to learn about the competition or they lack the resources to do the competition. This has become a big problem when the proposition team suggested we change the curriculum so the resources can be updated like the textbook. It is actually bringing more harm to the teachers and students because a change in the curriculum means that all of them have to adopt new things, not just how the competition side, but the entire education system. We need to remember that curriculum don't just refer to the competition rules. It is the entire education system. Therefore, we believe that building up education facilities should be prioritized. We have two arguments on the opposition team. First argument, why prioritizing reforming the curriculum will bring more harm than good, and why prioritizing building up educational facilities will bring betterment. Now, first argument, it creates confusion for teachers and students. Now, we must realize that this change in curriculum doesn't affect only competitions, national competitions, but other aspects as well, like how the students and teachers interact in the class, the teaching process and materials, etc. If the curriculum gets changed, then the entire school will have to adapt to new conditions and therefore confusing how the teachers should teach and how the students learn. Without the needed facilities and resources, even the new curriculum won't help. The help of the champions of the OSN, for example, like the first speaker of the proposition said, has to be accompanied by the resources needed. The OSN champions might teach them valuable knowledge, but once they are gone, they cannot stay there forever. The students won't be able to self-study the materials of OSN. With no Wi-Fi, they cannot access the internet. No computer laptop means they cannot access the internet also, and they cannot access the textbooks that are new, updated, and recommended by OSN champions because the library don't have those kind of books, and those books only in the internet in the ebook form. Now, onto my second argument. Why prioritizing building up educational facilities will bring betterment? It is to introduce a far more sufficient source of education. Now, many of these national competitions need resources to do the studying or research or even doing the competition. These areas lack the proper resources to fend for themselves and therefore cannot compete nationally. With the introduction of these facilities, they will be able to gain much more resources that are updated and according to the current curriculum. For example, when the facility of Wi-Fi and laptops are introduced, many areas won't have to rely on outdated textbooks that don't teach the correct thing, and instead they can access the Puspress's website and they can get the updated rule book on NSCC, for example, and they can access YouTube to get tips and tricks for OSN, how to debate, OSN materials and research, etc. We need to realize that the giving of OSN talents to the local schools do not have to be a new curriculum. It can also be just a program accompanied with the resources of academic resources. Now, why is this justified? This makes it easier for the teacher to train themselves and train the students. When the students and teachers are easier to train, the implication and impacts are the students become more educated on the matter, and they become more ready to commit, more confident, and more prepared for the national competition. This causes the area's academic potential to increase and will cause a rise in the achievements. Now, the proposition team might say that the curriculum change will be easily adapted by the schools. While this is true, it is unimportant because what is a curriculum change without the resources to back it up? It's less useful. When we introduce the resources to back up these curriculums, it will be way more helpful because of the reason I explained earlier. And therefore I am proud to oppose.